Welcome to our Plugs Community Connection. I am your host, DJ Kitty Cat, with my sister co-host, Miss Morningstar on WKRA 92.7 FM The Change. If you're looking for the best in news, current events, community outreach programs, and shopping connections, you've come to the right place. We've got a great mix of content and community connections lined up for you this evening, along with special guest interviews. So, grab your favorite drink of choice, turn up the volume, and let's get into it.
You guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me? That's crazy. Crazy work. I've been talking this whole time on mute. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Plugs Community Connection. I am your co-host, Ms. Morningstar. DJ Kitty will be back shortly. She has a couple technical issues. We are here tonight. We have an exciting show this evening. We have a great lineup. We have Bunny Diva here to do our check-in on our health. We have Reggie to do our value identity. And we also have our two political king creators from TikTok. We have Zeus and we have Nutty Professor. So this is going to be a exciting, great show. And we're going to we're gonna have some fun, y'all. We're gonna have some fun. Waiting on Kitty to come back in. I'm just gonna keep it moving. And when she gets in, we'll get her introduced and started on what she has. But tonight I'm going to go into some African American history affirmations. Now listen, it's Black History Month. Y'all already know everything is blackety black, blackety black, blackety black. Can you hear me, Kitty?
I can finally hear you.
Okay, it happens. And we got you. You know I'm gonna hold you down.
Of course. I have come to the realization that StreamYard just doesn't like me. Because
Girl, I feel it's the work of the demons. That's how I feel, you know.
Why kick me out all of a sudden?
Right when we starting, right? We're about to do something good and great, you know. That's when them MAGA demons and stuff. You know, my boy Zeus know what I'm talking about. Everybody know what I'm talking about. They like to come through with vengeance.
Exactly. Have you already done the affirmations? Sis?
I'm doing it now. I'm getting ready to start the affirmation. Right. So I was just letting everybody know, in light of Black History Month, everything is blackety black, black, black. We're gonna do some affirmations. I found 10 affirmations for Black people to level up your mental health. So I thought that was a good way to start the show, since our focus is on, you know, health and value identity and stuff like that. We go through a lot of things, so we got to stay up on the up. Number 1, I deserve to move through life with ease. Black experience, you know, includes pain of oppression, but that doesn't mean you have to struggle all the time. A life filled with ease is our ancestral right. I mean, our ancestors and the generations before us, you know, they did not break racial barriers alone, and for us to be stressed out, you know. So we got to live every day as it serves us, not stressed out though. Number 2, reject socialite standards that don't align with yourself. Don't align with me. You know, there's standards around everything in this world, especially when it comes to beauty, education, jobs, relationships, gender, sexuality, you name it. So if you don't hit the milestones or fulfill the characteristics associated with these social rules, you might judge yourself and question your self-worth. Number 3, give myself permission to create boundaries with family. Enough said, you know. Create those barriers when you need it, guys. Number 4, I can use my voice to speak up for myself and others. That's what we do every day in TikTok world. Our voice is the most powerful tool we have. For centuries, Black people have started movements that empowered our communities and created generational change. So we have the right to use our voice to create change. Number 5, I release feelings of shame around my identity. The world's demonizing us, Black bodies for simply existing. And it can be tough not to internalize all the negative messages about us. But don't make your haters live easier by being ashamed of who you are. Be at your best. Release any shame you have around any of your intersecting identities, like having dark skin or being trans. Number 6, I won't allow racism to distract my greatness. Say it loud. I'm Black and I'm proud, y'all. Well, I'm not going to allow them to affect me in a way where, racism is a distraction to my everyday life. There was a quote by Toni Morrison in 1975 where she said, racism wants you to believe that your life does not matter, that your culture is degenerated, that you're not good enough, that the way that you were naturally created as is despicable. Lies, lies, and more lies. So don't believe the hype, y'all. They'll try to get you every time. 7, make time to process strong emotions. As a community, Black people are often encouraged to suppress our feelings, deal with our traumas later or never, or just keep it pushing. Don't be like that. Make sense of what doesn't make sense of what you feel. As a saying, they say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, has become a popular saying in the community, but it couldn't be further from the truth, guys, honestly. So we need to touch on those things. Number 8, recognize rejection, protection, and redirection. Number 9, I choose to find people who make me feel safe and supported. Keep your safety net. Stay in your safe place. And number 10, I am grateful for the opportunity to live my truth. Our ancestors had to go through a lot of injustice just to see change in the world and for us to be free and chase our dreams. So even with all of that, we've come very far. Don't get caught up in what we don't have or what we could have better, but practicing gratitude can help you maintain a positive outlook. Be thankful for what you have and be open to receive whatever comes your way.
Absolutely.
That's it. Did y'all like those?
I did. I liked all of those because it's helping those who may have doubt. We are living in a time where everything we do is scrutinized. Everywhere we go, we're looked at. We can't just live in peace. Unfortunately, we are stuck in a time warp of people who feel that it's their business to mind ours. And so, yes, I love all of those affirmations. And I want everybody to hold on to them because that's all we have. We don't have to believe what they say. You believe in yourself. Thank you, sis. For those, I'm late because technology doesn't like me. So I am DJ Kitty. This is my co-host, Miss Morningstar. And of course, she took over because she's a professional. And absolutely. So I want to stay on the same note of happy Black History 365 because they want to take the month away, and I'm good with that. Let's take away the month and celebrate it 365 because Black history is American history. And for those who don't understand, maybe pick up a book. That's all I got for you. So let's start with the weather. So welcome winter back. Come on back. It's been hot in Houston, but now it's just cooling off just a bit here. However, there is a winter storm Ileana impacting 20 states. Widespread, yes, widespread across the Midwest and the Northeast, and from Chicago to Kansas City. Speaking of Kansas City, go Eagles!
Go Eagles!
Go Eagles! They put on a fantastic
they did
game last night, and You get what you get and you don't have a fit.
I'm just gonna say it. I mean, you was in Louisiana, you had brought a demon with you, Kansas City, and nobody tell you to bring that demon in the house. And baby, the spells were working because it was the blackest, blackety black Super Bowl I've ever seen, and I loved every bit of it.
Every bit of it, from Samuel Jackson to Kendrick
Uncle
to
Sam.
Okay.
Y'all better pick it up where he dropped it off. I don't know what's wrong with folks, but he dropped it.
And you know, some people were I'm not even gonna think about those people. I received the message. Kendrick, if you're listening, if you're out there listening, you know, we received it, you know.
We heard you.
We heard you loud and clear. And I'm quite sure the guy from Canada, the one that's crying probably right now and throwing, you know, cereal across the room, you know, he heard you too. I don't think he's too excited about how you put it down, but you definitely put it down. And it was so symbolic. I love how, first of all, they all ran out of the car. That was really interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then how they all were on the stage, and it was red, white, and blue. And that corner of the stage, that corner was the blue with the stars, and Kendrick was in the middle, because I feel like the country is divided, and maybe that was the message. But you got to pick up what he was putting down.
I mean, all those beautiful African Americans, you know, forming the U.S. flag because we built this country. It was so symbolic. All those states that were symbolic, that our ancestors built from the ground up. I mean, it is what it is. You got to call a thing, you know?
I mean, you know, and so it was a very interesting Super Bowl, to say the least. And then on top of it being a great halftime show, Jalen Hurts showed out. I mean, and then all the sacks. I mean, is that the most sacks in Super Bowl history? I don't know, but I know it was a lot. And maybe you shouldn't be shaking hands with people. I'm just saying. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should reevaluate who you shake hands with and who you want to support. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But anywho, go Eagles. Now let's get into I'm just going to hit on a few things because I really want our guests to expand on this. But the judges are busy, sis. They are extremely busy. I don't think that the judges ever woke up and said, one day I'm going to have to be a judge that stops a madman who was quote unquote elected into office. I don't think any judge in the history of America ever thought that they would have to come and stop a madman from trying to destroy the country, because I don't even understand anything other than him trying to destroy the country. Because why else are you doing this?
Don't you want to be a fly on the wall in their house, them judges, and hear what they got to really say about this? You know they cussing. They cussing him cold out.
You know they cuss him smooth out. But I don't think that they can talk to other people. They are definitely cussing him out.
Baby, the names they calling him, the way they talking to they close people about him, like.
Well, Judge Jay McConnell had to order Trump to immediately unfreeze the federal funding and stop violating the law. Why do we have to tell a president to stop violating?
Why he gotta tell you again? He already told you to do it. Why he gotta tell you again? See, this is what happens when you don't put belt to behind. This is what happens. Belt to behind did not happen in this person's life, because when somebody tell you do something the first time,
you do it.
You're gonna do it. Somebody
the way I was raised,
authority, you're gonna do it.
The way I was raised, belt to behind if I didn't do what I was told, And no, my parents were not abusive, but they made sure that I understood that I will not walk around this world thinking
That's
that
right.
anybody owes me anything and that I can just do whatever I want to do. You
Mm-hmm.
can't. And
You
then
can't.
why are you trying? My mind is blown because I swear I thought he said that he was going to help Americans with eggs and gas and groceries but everything he's doing is strictly to strip America of everything,
Just
from
lying.
funding to childcare to everything. I have a coworker who told me today, I love her dearly, and she's going through some things, medical things. She has to pay $1,900 for heart medication. And she just found out today. How is she supposed to get $1,900? It's not like we're millionaires, none of
Everybody
us.
not sitting on that kind of money all the time.
No.
People got real life situations.
And that's
real
30 days.
Stuff happening. Yeah.
So every 30 days, she's going to need $1,900 for one of her medications.
Man, that's terrible. I'm sorry. I feel really horrible for them.
We all do. Yes.
Yeah,
and you have to think about it. And then another judge, anyway, another judge also, and this is just breaking, she temporarily blocks Dumpy from halting research funding cuts. He wants to cut everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why? If you cut everything, and what are you going to do with the money? And that's our money that we earned and paid our taxes to. So April 15th, I don't know if you're going to see me or not. Because paying taxes means I'm just giving my money to Elonia and Dumpy.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what they doing. Like, I need to know what's up. What y'all doing? What's going on with the money?
I don't understand it. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break.
Okay.
I thank everyone for showing up. Let's go ahead and drop us a quick commercial right quick and come on back. You are listening to Our Plugs, the Community Connection, brought to you by WKRA 92.7 and WHGE LP 95.3. Stay tuned. God bless. And we are back. Once again, you are listening to Our Plugs, the Community Connection. I am your host, DJ Kitty. I'm here with my sister, Miss Morningstar, and we have a full lineup tonight. We have our health check-in with our good sister, Bunny. We also have Reggie, who's joining us with the Equal Universe. We're going to talk about value, identity, and then we have two awesome creators, political creators. We have Zeus and Nutty Professor. So we're going to go ahead and bring up Bunny. And let's go ahead and start with Bunny.
Okay. Let's get Bunny
and you
up.
guys just hang tight.
Bunny, I'll add you to the stage. Hey, Bunny.
Hey, Bunny.
Hey, hi, ladies. How are you doing this evening?
Doing just fine. Doing just fine. How about yourself? Yes, we can hear you just fine. You got a little background, but we can hear you just fine.
Okay.
Yeah, just a little feed. When you're on this, you can pick up everything. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's true. It is definitely true.
Yeah, yes.
I'm doing good. I'm just happy to be here and to do our health check-in because, with everything that's going on right now, we need to make sure that we take care of our health. So
Absolutely.
that's important, you know. So one of the things that I don't think people realize a lot of times is that the correlation between your mental health and your gut. A
Mm.
lot of times, for instance, people feel like, okay, you know, if you get really nervous about something, of course, you know, your stomach will affect you. But I don't think people realize that their gut is tied into anger, anxiety, is tied into causing depression, uh, is tied into fatigue, is tied into being irritable.
Absolutely.
So it really does tie in big time. And I think that what we need to kind of, or should rather, definitely focus in on our gut because neurotransmitters are actually made in your gut, like for instance serotonin, and that helps. That's like the happiness chemical that's made into the gut, and you have dopamine, okay, and
Hmm.
that's important for motivation and pleasure.
Hold on, Bunny.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, sis, but we are getting awful feedback. Do you have on a TV or a radio?
Oh, you know what? I think there might. Let's see. 1 second.
Yeah, because we're hearing that
You
feed.
hearing that in the back? Okay. One
Yeah.
moment. One moment.
Okay. Yeah, it's the one thing about uh doing these, you have to have radio silence.
It picks up really sensitive.
Yes.
It's real sensitive.
Yeah, so we think that we're talking normal, but it's extremely loud on the other end. So let's while Bunny is getting that together, I always say this, I hope that everyone is drinking water. It's kind of cool outside for some, so I don't know about touching grass, but if you can touch grass, touch you some grass. And then getting at least 30 minutes of exercise in, minimum. I don't care if that's just walking around the block. You want to get your heart rate elevated. And that right there makes all the difference. And I know that when you start, you'll be a little sore the next day. So soaking in Epsom salt always helps.
Okay.
Bunny, you back?
I'm back. I hope this is
Oh, good.
better.
Much better. Much
Oh,
better. Yes,
good.
ma'am.
Good, good. So yeah, so basically what I'm basically referring to is that we need to make sure to keep our gut healthy because of the fact that it is tied into the different type of chemicals that your brain produces. And like for instance, like I was mentioning serotonin, which has a lot to do with your happiness. That's the happiness chemical that your brain makes. And then you have dopamine, and that helps with your motivation and pleasure. So if you are not feeling motivated, and you not seem to be getting much pleasure in anything that you do in your life, believe it or not, is because you probably your gut is being affected, and which is affecting the levels of your dopamine, and then GABA, which is another one that helps us to relax and that helps us to reduce the stress that we have as well. So you want to make sure that you are balancing out that microbiome that's in your gut by having, you know, a good probiotic that you want to take and offer, you know, that you. Well, I don't recommend anything on Amazon because you don't know how long. When it comes down to any kind of supplementation, they have a lot of things on the shelf for a long time. So you you want to make sure that you get a good probiotic that is, you know, from a practitioner, someone like myself, or maybe someone else, or a doctor or so that can recommend something for you because you want to make sure that you're hitting those elements. The other thing is too, a lot of times people don't even know how their gut is. We can have a lot of problems with our gut and not even know what's happening. Like what type of probiotic that you need, the different type of bacteria that's in the gut that may be lacking, or maybe you have overproduction of, because you're going to have some good and you're going to have some bad bacteria that's going to grow into your gut. But you
Let me
want
ask you a
to, I'm
question, but
sorry. Uh huh.
let me
Sure.
let me ask you a question. So how would you know, what are some of the signs that you have issues with your gut outside of, not feeling well? What are some of the signs that you may need to see someone in regards to your gut?
Sure. Yeah, so okay, like having insomnia, not being able to sleep, having memory impairments, mood disorders, having brain fog. A lot of people have brain fog, right? Sometimes you're thinking that, I can't remember something, and you're just kind of foggy about that. And we all experience that to some degree. So, but the thing is, the key is that is it really something that could be a sign of potential, dementia coming along, or is it actually a memory problem that's happening because your gut is not balanced right? We actually, in the medical field, call the gut is a second brain. So it's responsible for so many processes in your body that you want to make sure and keep that in balance. So those are some of the things outside of the normal stuff where you can have possibly disruptions in your gut. So maybe you have, you know, their bowel movements could be a little funny sometimes. Those type of things. You tend to have nausea with your gut. So those are different things that can be telltale signs that you're having, or possibly maybe some assistance with your gut.
And so when, say I run across this and I figured, let me go get checked. So
Hmm.
it's best to, make an appointment with your doctor, but you really want to see a specialist, wouldn't you think? I know that's what you
Yeah,
specialize in, one of the things you specialize in.
definitely. Well, yes, because the thing is that a lot of times doctors are not really checking all of those things. I have a story for my own self, for instance. I had not long ago had experienced some issues with my stomach, and I knew there was a lot going on with me at the time. And so when I went to my gastroenterologist, he basically, one of the things they're always going to say, okay, let's do a test. But the thing is that they don't tend, to be very honest with you, they don't tend to work on what's really causing the problem. As we always know, they always are constantly saying, okay, here's this medicine, here's that medicine, that kind of way. And I know, for instance, actually, I'm going to take it back to another story. Actually, that's even more powerful, I think. My gosh, this is probably about maybe 15 years ago when I used to work in finance before I became what I am now. And so I always had stuff always with my gut, because at the time when you're working, I know you can relate to that, Kitty, because when you work in finance, there's a lot of stress. So it was a lot of stress. It was a lot of stress in dealing with the day-to-day functions. Anyhow, I had went to my gastroenterologist, and he was like, okay, I want to put you on this medicine. Now I'm the first one to say I don't want to be on some medication. So, but okay, he said, well, this will help. It's not a lot of symptoms. I checked, it wasn't too many good no symptoms on it. So I said, okay, I tried it. But then I said to him, I had another appointment, and I went back to him and I said, this didn't help me any. He said, well, there's another pill that I want you to try, and I think that's going to help. Just so happens that the pill, it was like a purple pill, and it just so happens that I was always snoopy about health things. So it doesn't surprise me that I ended up doing what I'm doing. But when he wanted to give me that pill, and I said, well, if this is the pill that caused heart problems. And he said, oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. So I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm going to take that pill. Long story short, he gave me the refill. I never had a refill. And would you know, probably about a month later, that same pill they pulled it from the market because it caused people to have heart attacks and die.
Wow. See, that's why I'm so skeptical, because they're practicing medicine. They're
Right.
practicing. Just think about that word, practicing. They're
Yes.
practicing,
They're
literally.
they're practicing medicine, and I'm not saying that a person should not go to a doctor, because sometimes, there is, you have to go, to get some things, but they
Yeah.
don't tend to get to the root cause of the problem. They're just so
Yeah.
used to, is a lot of politicking too with having the medications and just giving you medicine all
Absolutely.
the time. So back to your question, Kitty, as far as testing. So yes, for someone like myself that deals in functional medicine, I get to the root cause of the problem. I do have it where a person can come to me, and actually I have a test. I have over 200 panels of testing, but I do have the neurotransmitter, so I can see, like I talked about, the serotonin and the dopamine. I can check those levels and see where you are if you're low in that, right? So that I
Mhm.
can help address that for you. The other thing is the gut zoomer. Amazing, amazing test. I mean, that test is like it tests every kind of scenario from any kind of parasite, any kind of different bacteria, any kind of
Wow.
overgrowth that you may have in your stomach, and that test is huge to the point where in my gastroenterologist had never heard of that test, and when I showed him, he said, "Oh wow, this test is comprehensive." So he might start doing it. I don't know. He might take it
That's
from me, but
awesome. That's
but
awesome.
yeah,
So
something like that you need to take
let
to
me
find out what's going on. I'm sorry.
no. We
Mhm.
appreciate all the information that you're providing, Bunny, because as you know, and as the rest of us know, health is wealth. And if you can be the richest person in the world, but if you don't have great health, you're just rich on a time limit. And we all are, but how do you want
Mhm.
to live your life is what's most important in my mind. I want to take a quick break. I want to say number one, thank you all for coming. I see you guys out there. Powerful Black woman, Frank, Yvonne. I said what I said. I see you guys. Thank you all for showing up. We have so much more on the plate for tonight. So just stand by. Let's go to a quick commercial. And when we come back, Buddy, you've got a few more minutes and then we need to go ahead and bring Reggie up on in here.
Sure.
Okay?
Mhm.
Just stand by.
Welcome to a world that sparkles. Sparkle Kicks LLC takes custom to a whole new level. You are guaranteed to find a gift for that special someone or even a customized gift for yourself. So head on over to my Etsy shop, Sparkle Kicks LLC, and start your personalized order today. I'll be waiting to hear from you. Have a great day.
And we are back. So you are listening to Our Plugs, the Community Connection, brought to you by our sister company or our sister station, WKRA 92.7 and WHGE-LP 95.3. We are back with Gail Thorpe with Nutrition You Design. She is the CEO and she's just giving us a few more tips. And go ahead, Gail, go ahead and finish up. And we're going to go ahead and hear from Reggie later in a few minutes. But go ahead and finish up, honey.
Okay, so basically, and I'm probably could talk about all of this stuff for like now until next year because I'm so passionate about it. But definitely, just some quick tips to help anyone out there. You want to get tested first of all. If you can find someone like me, you want to definitely get tested to see what type of bacteria that you have in your gut, and also to see what you may be lacking when it comes down to any type of mood swings and things that you may be experiencing. Because sometimes we have mood swings, irritability, and low motivation, and not sure why. Right? We have fatigue, and sometimes when they check you, they're like, everything is fine. Where is this coming from? It could be something in reference to that. So you want to definitely keep that stress down because stress can disrupt that gut bacteria, and which also now increases inflammation in your body. So you want to make sure you get enough sleep. That's very important. Poor sleep definitely disrupts your gut microbiome. You also want to reduce processed foods. Okay, so
Absolutely.
yeah, going to the McDonald's every single day for every meal is not the ideal thing to do because now we're going to start to, yeah, I mean, like I said before, you're going to have some good and bad bacteria in your stomach. That's normal, but you don't want to overproduction of the bad bacteria. So you want to make sure and keep that at bay. And you just want to make sure that you get a lot of fiber rich foods, vegetables, fruit, and whole grains. That can also help you. But again, making sure too that you take that probiotic. That's important, a good probiotic that's going to have the right strands for you. If you wanted to get more personalized, definitely, coming to see a practitioner like myself, which is a functional medicine that can actually see the strain that you're low on, so that you're not just taking a generalized probiotic, right? Because they have different
Absolutely.
varieties. So you want to make sure you have the right strain. So that's basically it, just kind of letting everybody know that there's that connection to your gut, your mood, and some things that you may be experiencing, and you want to kind of take care of that so you can feel better.
That sounds perfect. And thank you so much. We appreciate you taking out the time and coming to educate us about our health. I would like to find
Absolutely.
out more about heart issues and then brain. I love to hear what's going on medically because I said what I said, just said it. The doctors look up symptoms on the internet and give you a diagnosis most of the time, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's the same. I feel like most of the doctors, they are there to just feed us the medication and not actually get to the root cause of the issue. I mean, that's not what they went to school for. They went to school. I would think that a doctor would go to school to learn how to help and heal. However, they've learned how to put a band-aid on it by giving us medication and keeping us on medication. But from firsthand experience, one medication, it may help your heart, but then it's hurting your kidneys. Yes, the high blood pressure medication, you're taking that, but if you take it for years, eventually your kidneys will be affected. And so, you're swapping one for the other, so it's best to get in front of it by eating healthy, taking the right nutrients, and exercising, but I've always told my former clients, you can't out exercise a bad diet. So no matter what you eat, I mean, however hard you work out, it won't help if you're eating trash.
It's the 80-20 rule, I believe, right?
Yes, and I talked about the last time.
80%
It should be
is what
90-10. Let's just be honest. It should be 90-10 because think about where we're at right now. We don't have anybody in the FDA that's really making sure that the food that we're putting into our bodies is nutrition,
Right.
because we seem to have lost all of that in this administration. So yeah, 90-10, if you know like I know. But thank you again, Bunny, so much for coming.
Absolutely.
Don't drop. We want definitely give you your chance to say your final words for the week. And just we're gonna put you back in backstage and hear from Reggie for about maybe 15 minutes, and then we're gonna move on with the show. But thank you once again.
Thank you, Bunny. I'm gonna drop you down. Just stay in queue.
Thank you, honey. Good evening, Reggie. How are you?
Hello, beautiful souls. How are you?
Doing just
Reggie,
fine.
how are you? Good to hear you. How you doing today?
Absolutely. Same here. No, wonderful. You know what, Miss Morningstar, those affirmations that you read, we need those posted somewhere. There were so many tools that you dropped. And, so many times it's not because we don't know, but the majority of times we forget what we know.
This is true.
So I think it is great to have reminders, things that bring back to our memory, all of these, you touched on so much. And I was very, very much, just enjoying as you were reading through those affirmations. But I was like, man, I want to see that again. It's like a good movie that you're like, it's so good.
I read through it. I said,
that's like some soul food. You know what? We're going to make that. We're going to have that on Monday and on Friday. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, we need it.
Good food for the soul right there. So
absolutely.
We need it.
Mm-hmm. So what's going on with you, Reggie? I know you gave us some homework, and I did some of it. I'm not gonna lie, I did as much as I could. I've been busy, just a tad bit.
The school has been under barrage, so we can defer the test. You know what I'm saying?
Please do.
We have been.
I know
I'm over here like this. I'm about to go on mute.
I know she didn't study.
The school has been under lockdown due to threats of violence. Okay. So
it's been crazy these last few days.
But you know what?
Can we get one more day? No.
Exactly. Well, when I do the next broadcast and I
give us just a little
answers to the test. Yeah.
And for those that don't know what the homework assignment was, we were supposed to listen to some music and kind of listen to the words of one of our favorite old-time singers, R.I.P. Michael Jackson had a song. And we're supposed to kind of dissect what he's saying and kind of, interpret what he's talking about. That's just a little bit of information.
Yeah, we'll go over it later. Well, we had two assignments. We had the internal assignment which was I Can't Help It by Michael
Jackson. I Can't
Jackson.
Help It by Michael Jackson.
And then the external assignment, which was We're Gonna Be All Right by Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah. Kendrick. Woo!
Yeah, right. So that perfect segue.
Yes.
Kendrick showed up, and I have no other way other than to characterize it as a prophet.
Yeah.
His performance
You're right.
They reminded me of when, you know, for those of you, and I'm not trying to, lean this way for the entire segment, but it was just so crystal clear to me. It just reminded me so much of the story of when Isaiah defeated the prophets of Baal, the false prophets. And in your affirmations, Miss Morningstar, you talked about lies and how we should not embrace them, how we should not adhere to them. And it just kind of made me think of something that I'd just like to just take a moment to reiterate. Fear is a skillful liar. It is the father, the parent, the architect of all lies, and it is incapable of ever telling the truth.
So is Donald Trump scared? Yeah. Because he's incapable of telling the truth.
The powers of light and dark have always been at odds. So there is a real power, which is the power of light and truth. Okay. And then there is a false power, which is, the power of the ego and chasing validation. And so Donald Trump very apparently lives through the second. He lives through, I have to acquire, I have to achieve, I have to have these groups and, these entities validate me in order for me to be able to experience this perceived power, but it's not a real power.
It's not.
And so
absolutely right. Yeah.
Throughout history, kings and kingdoms have come and gone, have been erected and have also been destroyed, but nature remains. And I say so many times that there's really only one law, and that's the law of nature. You can't indict a tsunami. you can't take an earthquake to court. You know what I mean? So we operate, in our day to day, but there is a law that supersedes all laws, and that is, the law of nature. So it's
I love that.
Yeah, it behooves us. It serves us, to embrace the truth, and to support it in every possible way that we can.
Absolutely.
Especially today, especially with everything that we're dealing with today, it serves us better just to acknowledge and accept the truth.
Right.
The one thing I think all of us can agree on is no one likes a liar.
Right.
To lie to someone and then expect them to just accept your lie. But there are some people, unfortunately, that I've learned who would prefer a lie over the truth. And that's what blows my mind.
Well, it's because at our deepest core, we seek value. Okay. We talk about love, and we talk about connection, and we talk about safety, and we talk about being celebrated. Those are all fruits, but we have to look at what produces the fruit that we desire to experience. And so value, I'm saying, is the core of what we desire. And when you talk about love and connection and respect and safety, those are all of the fruits of value that we desire to experience in our lived day-to-day lives.
Right.
But there is also a false value. And that kind of brings me to what I, would like to share today on today's broadcast.
Okay.
That is that there are two stories that exist about us. There's a story that society tells us about who we are. And then there's the story that nature tells us about who we are. And the reason why people will embrace a liar, to your point, DJ Kitty, and will support lies is because what they're at their core seeking, but don't know how to acquire and achieve, is what they're seeking is validation, because validation is value. If I say, great job, that's validation. And how does that make you feel? That makes you feel pretty good.
I agree with that.
A promotion is validation. And how does that make you feel? So what I'm saying is that our pursuit, if you look at everything that you've ever done, all the choices you've ever made in your life, you've made those choices because in some way, shape, or form, that vacation, that relationship, that job opportunity, even watching a movie, you made those decisions because it was in your perception that doing so would benefit you in some way. Or in other words, the benefit, the rate of exchange is the value that it would pour into your life. And that is what drives us as human beings. And so when we are operating in a societal model that says that you are not valuable, but these things are valuable, having, 1 million likes on Instagram, having $1 million in the bank, or having, the latest release of whatever, the Gucci or Tom Ford or whatever. And don't get me wrong. There is nothing wrong with enjoying those things. But the point is that most people are not able to, because they're not aware. Most people are not able to experience joy unless they acquire or attach themselves to those exterior things. And that is the problem.
Absolutely. So what's step one?
I'm going there.
Okay,
I'm
go
going
ahead.
there. So it's okay. It's okay. So again, understand your relationship to things and understand the power dynamic. Things do not exist. We do not exist for things. Things exist for us. Things do not give us value. It is us who assign value and are the source of value to all things. So in other words, money can't be spent without you. Money has no power without you. Money has no purpose without you. Houses and cars and Gucci and and trips, none of those things can exist without you. So it is because you exist that those things exist for you. But it is only you who can provide value and purpose to those things, because without you, they have no purpose.
Absolutely.
Facts.
That right there hit home, especially now, because like I said, what I said and Yvonne said, in the comments, people are so stuck into showing what they have and how great they are.
Right.
Especially on social media, and it's all for nothing. If you really think about it, it's all for nothing, because when you click out of that app, you're back to your
you
real
back
life.
to who you
were.
You back.
Exactly.
And I always said that, since I've been on this social media app, as far as the world of TikTok, people live alternative lives on those TikTok streets. And I mean, to a point, I understand, because everybody has that other person that they just kind of wanted to come out and, be that alter ego. But then when it becomes kind of toxic, and you become this toxic person that you may not want it to create,
yes,
I think it becomes a problem.
It is a problem in my mind, when you are so swept up in living this facade, and you start taking on the characteristics of that facade, and thinking you're starting to blur the lines between reality and social media.
Right.
But it's all it's all motivated by a desire for power, because autonomy is another word that we use.
Yes.
But autonomy is power over your lived experience, power to survive, power to create connection, power to be celebrated, power to be appreciated. Okay. And generating all of those, being able to generate all of those things. But again, it has to start with your internal relationship with yourself. And that's kind of the other side of what I'd like to kind of talk about, is that, you know, all of the things that society tells us that we need to chase and acquire and buy and achieve in order to experience value. Nature, the story that nature tells us is that you already have all those things.
Yeah.
I've already built those things into your design.
Yeah.
It is already, you are already everything that value is, and value is already everything that you are. So all that you need to do is to begin to understand that, and then to begin to pour that awareness back into yourself so that you can enjoy how you experience your relationship with you. And then operate in the world, then you will operate from internal power. And then when all of these things in media, and you know what I'm saying, and in social media and in politics, they no longer define you, because now you're operating in a real awareness of how valuable you are, of how the fact that there is only one you, and that what you bring, in the same way that there's only one heart in your body.
Absolutely.
Okay. And what the heart does for the body, no one else can. No other member can. So what you bring to the world, no one else can bring what you bring to the world. You're unique in your own, and that is your power. You are a brand, living and breathing, because what you bring to the body of humanity, no one else can.
Absolutely, Reggie. We thank you so much for showing up tonight and spreading this message. I love to hear you speak, because you make me think. You know, it's not.
He always dropping them nuggets, baby.
He's dropping nuggets to
good.
really make
and
me
I take notes.
think.
I'm over here writing.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Reggie, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
We're gonna go to a commercial. We would love, you know what I say. We'd love to have you back. So,
Mondays.
Mondays.
We need this fruit.
We need this.
Absolutely.
We need this food. So.
You know, and just before I go back into to backstage. We need to build healing in our community. There's been so much taken from us, in terms of, like Miss Morningstar was saying, and like you were saying also, DJ Kitty, how we perceive ourselves, the story that we tell ourselves about who we are. We need to be reminded of who we are. And so I'm just so appreciative for this platform, because it gives us an opportunity to begin to build safety in our community and in our relationships with ourselves. Because once you become a safe space and a safe place for you, then you can bring that out into the exterior spaces and in society when you show up. And that's what it's all about.
Thank you so much, Reggie.
Absolutely.
You are absolutely correct.
We appreciate you.
We're going to put you in this back in stage. We're going to go to commercial and come back with our guest, our special guest tonight. We have
Patiently Waiting,
and we have Zeus. But before that, let's hit a quick commercial.
All right.
Hello, fellow taxpayers. I'm Andre Martinez, and as the founding owner of EA Tax Pros, I can honestly tell you that our clients trust our team of highly skilled and experienced accountants. Why? Because we work with a passion to keep your money in your pockets, and we keep filing taxes simple, regardless of any situation. And let's be honest, taxes are not everyone's favorite. That's why, as a multi service accounting firm, our professional accountants have a deep understanding in all areas of accounting, and as well as tax planning, preparation, and resolving your tax issues. We lead the way of effectively utilizing the tax regulations and IRS codes to help our clients clearly identify the path of their personal, nonprofit, and business goals. So, if you don't know how to start your business or your nonprofit, we welcome you to the EA Tax Pros team, and you will have access to our enrolled agents who have earned the highest certification of the IRS, as well as CPAs, certified acceptance agents, and QuickBooks certified pro advisors. So give us a call, 713 496 0262. Or you can visit us at ea-taxpros.com. So come join the team that taxpayers trust. Also, don't forget to check out ourplugs.com, a community built with culture.
And we are back. Let's go ahead and, well, before we add them to the box, let me say you are listening to Our Plugs, the Community Connection, brought to you by our sister company WKRA 92.7, as well as WHGE 95.3. It's all the nines.
Yes, we
thank you for tuning in. Yeah, I've got to practice it.
Yeah, but, it's okay. Yeah. Shoot, I got it wrote down right here.
Me too, but I have my phone blocking it. Welcome back. We've got special guests that we're about to bring on stage. Go ahead and bring up Nutty Professor and Zeus.
Yay.
Yay. It is good to see you two. It's good to have you both on our platform. Good evening, Nutty. Good evening, Zeus.
Greetings.
Greetings.
Good evening, hey, Nutty. Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? Nutty, can you hear us?
Let me type him a note. Let him know we are.
You can't hear.
Can you hear us?
That's StreamYard. Let me see if we switch up. I'm not sure why it's doing that, but Nutty, drop down and come back. Let's try that. Let's just try dropping down and coming right back.
Yeah, let me type him a note.
Go ahead and drop him out and then drop him back, bring him back.
Okay.
I got it.
Stage. And then I'll try to...
Now, you know it was doing that to me. So, you know.
I know. What is going on here?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You know, technology doesn't like, you know, it's technology is funny. It's very funny acting. While we wait on Nutty to join us, Zeus, how are you? How are you today? You're on mute, Zeus.
Oh, I'm doing all right. How about you two?
Doing pretty just good, fine.
Awesome. Great show. Great show. I'm enjoying the show, the feedback and the content, all above par.
Thank you. Thank you. I got a chance to catch your show this morning as well. And it was quite interesting, as your shows tend to be.
Love it.
Thank you. I have plenty of questions, but I'm going to start off soft. Maybe soft. Maybe. One of my questions to you, Zeus, is how do you keep it together without losing it on your lives? Because the people that you talk to, Zeus, how do you do it? What's your secret? Tell us now. What is your secret?
You know, to be quite honest with you, I have family members that are Trump supporters, and
Lord Jesus,
I am in battle 24/7.
Okay.
So what you all see is a glimpse of what I'm doing all day long.
All day long. So I can't even imagine having family members who support anything that he has going on. I know that that is very, very difficult for you. So is that what gives you, the wherewithal to withstand talking to them? Because
well, it's that, but so two parts, right? So I think the first time Trump was in office, it really did make it a situation where if you were a Trump supporter, then you know what? I don't think I kind of want to talk to you, because it was shocking to know that people voted for someone like that and still supported him even after all the things that he did. So you had the whole he didn't get reelected thing, and Biden gets in there. I think what that did was, at least for me and my family, made it a case where I was able to kind of do that whole, look, now you understand what we mean. You see why we have Biden in there now, ha. And I thought honestly that was going to be the end of it. And so, I didn't mind having conversations with these people, because guess what? We were on the upside, right? With Biden and Kamala Harris. I really thought the last thing that could ever happen was we would be back to where we're at right now. And so throughout this whole situation, I've, been communicating with them, and, we sparred back and forth, but for the most part, it was kind of like, all right, fine. But where we're at right now, the defenses have been built up from my point of view in terms of what to expect from Donald Trump. And now it's just kind of like letting them know, hey, even though he's back in the White House, I'm not, conceding on any of the stuff that I've said before. As a matter of fact, now I got to actually go deeper.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what makes the show that I do amazing, because, folks like you, my good friend Nutty, you get in there and it's this constant battle to debunk every single thing that these people are bringing. So that was the first part. But then the other part about it has to do with at least my understanding of like the Civil War. I do know the North won, and some of the characters that were responsible for what happened in the South, we never really banished them from the United States.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's
they're still here.
Yeah. And so it was just recognizing like that's part of our history in this country, right? Is you got two different schools of thought happening out here, but at the end of the day, we're still Americans, which is tough to say, right? So I think of it like there's the good brother and then there's the bad brother, and obviously
Cain and Abel.
Yeah.
Cain and Abel. Yeah.
And sometimes you gotta take them downstairs and do what you do to them, and then
belt to behind.
Yeah. And so I just see that that's most likely the most reasonable way to deal with it, outside of it turning into something really, really ugly. That's my take on it.
Okay. I appreciate you for sharing that with us.
Breaking that down. Yeah.
I mean, because I always, I come through and I'm on my Black job, so I'm really busy, but I try and listen and throw gifts and listen for a few minutes before I'm running into another meeting. And I say to myself, how in the world does he do this? And then Nutty, I hear you getting on up there. And
Captain Save Nutty. Here comes
yes,
Nutty
because
through. You know what? I've been hooked, Zeus. I've been literally hooked. We've been tethered, brother, for over a year now. And I admire your style. I admire your grace. And how educated you are, how patient you are, because
and humble.
Don't play with my brother, okay?
Yes,
you can go ahead and throw that handsome in there.
Don't start. My brother goes. Let him know. Triple H, okay?
Don't start, Nutty.
And I'm gonna tell you, because I be livid with these people. Like, but I have calmed a lot, because now I see, there is definitely mental illness in there, and this cult they've embraced.
It really is.
It is deeper than what we can see beyond the surface of our medulla oblongata. I don't it's not the connections are not there. So I just, I love to give you your flowers because you deserve them, you and Nutty. Both.
Yes.
And Nutty, he just get in there, and that's just, I'll be just cheering, like, get him, Nutty, get
yes,
him.
because it's
Nutty
the
gonna say everything I
education.
want to say.
Yes.
Come on in here,
True.
Nutty.
So hey, how's everybody this evening?
Doing
Good.
great. Thank you for joining us, Nutty. We really appreciate it.
Thank
you for your patience, because as you can see, technology is technology. So
we
got
better
to deal
this
with
week,
it.
though.
Yes.
We better
Yeah,
this
we're
week.
much better this week than we were last week.
Yes.
But let me ask you, Nutty. I know I hear you come up. I try and follow every post that you do, both of you, and so I can stay abreast, because I don't watch mainstream media at all. What's your take on, we all have our take on what he's doing, but what's your take on the response from his supporters? That's what's most concerning to me, that they are not realizing that the things that he's taking away directly affects them, and they're still, he's the greatest.
So that's a great question. I want to start by saying this. I want you all to just remember one word, and it's a 3-letter word: ego. Their ego is so large that they can't bring themselves to admit that they were wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot bring themselves to admit that they were wrong. Because as Zeus points out on a daily basis, Donald Trump stated he was going to lower egg prices. He was going to lower gas prices. He was going to do this immediately when he got back into the White House. Some things he promised and said that he was going to do immediately as soon as he won the election, like stop the war in Ukraine.
Immediately.
Immediately.
But did that happen?
No.
So they're
Nothing's
seeing it. They're seeing it. Don't let their ego fool you. They see it, and they're in a hypersensitive mode right now. There is a farmer right here in the state of Missouri that is
Misery.
on TikTok complaining
Oh yeah,
that he is about to lose his farm because the contract that he signed with the federal government, and he made business decisions based on getting those contracts. Now he's crying that he's about to lose his farm because of why? Donald Trump. But notice one thing.
He never mentions him.
He never mentions Donald Trump. And he's framing this as the government, because at the end of his TikTok, he even says, "Don't do business with the government." But it's not the government. It's the one man. Because interesting enough, he told the truth and he shamed the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like that, Zeus? He told the truth and he shamed the devil because he told everybody how he got the contracts. And it was through the Biden administration signing the infrastructure bill.
Yeah.
But now he's taking it away.
On themselves. I'm telling you, they always slip it up because the truth is going to slip its way through eventually.
So to answer your question, they see it just like you and I see it, right? But the majority of them, they're not going to admit it because of ego. They feel embarrassed to be wrong.
I mean, I get that. It's just I'm so flabbergasted. I guess that's the word for it. That here in the year 2025, when they see that the things that he plans on doing and is trying to do and is being blocked, thank God, by judges, that they're still rah-rahing behind him and knowing firsthand that this directly affects them.
Right.
Correct.
That's what blows my mind more than anything. You're okay with your child, your daughter, being maybe unalived, TikTok word, unalived, if she can't carry a child. You're okay with that happening. You're okay with your children and yourself and your family losing everything, because you live off of the government, but you still just want to stick it to the libs at your own detriment. Racism is so strong that it has these people
in
crashing
the
out
chokehold.
their
They in the
own lives.
Mm-hmm.
Their own life. They are willing to destroy their own lives for the sake of being able to say, I stuck it to the libs. Well, newsflash, you didn't really do anything to us because we're Black people. We know how to survive. Good luck is what I have to say. Good luck. Good luck with feeding your family. We know how to make a meal stretch. We know how to come together. We know how to make sure our bills get paid. When you've lived a life of luxury and mediocre manic mess, then you get what you get and you don't have a fit. That's my thought process on it. You get what you get and you don't have a fit.
Let me ask, can I ask Zeus a question?
Absolutely.
Zeus, my brother. So I know we all, it was supposed to be this big boycott yesterday for the NFL, because we know what the NFL has always been. I mean, one thing you can't deny is some of the things about the NFL, and it's the racism. So yesterday we didn't boycott. We did watch the game. It was a good game. Eagles. Oh, you didn't watch it, Nutty? Okay.
I absolutely boycotted.
Okay, and we got to learn to do that.
But I checked out the scores, and I was saying go Eagles.
Okay. I needed to watch that halftime show, and I'm glad. I am absolutely glad.
I did watch the halftime show. I did watch that.
Nutty, that was the blackest Super Bowl ever. Okay, Zeus, my brother.
Yes.
Did you watch the game yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
I keep my ears to the street. You know what I mean? I gotta watch what I gotta watch.
We gotta stay in the mix. We gotta know what's happening, right?
Yeah.
So when Kendrick, when it opened up and Uncle Samuel L. Jackson, y'all know he plays many characters, right? I love me some Samuel L. Jackson, because what was his name in Django?
Django.
He plays the heck out of those roles. But so the opening up, what was your thoughts? The opening when he introduced himself as Uncle Sam. We knew exactly what that meant. Most of us picked it up immediately. What was your thoughts?
Yeah. Trolling at a new level, right? That's kind of what I saw. I was like, you know what? If this is how you're gonna do it, I guess this is gonna send a message, right? And I just imagine, him turning real orange wherever he was at.
He wasn't watching it.
Oh no, that did.
I mean,
right
he was there.
That had to do it right there. And his supporters, they were like,
them diapers was swelling.
Yeah, I wish they would have showed the reaction of the supporters there when that.
Yeah.
You show Samuel Jackson, and then you show MAGA. That would have just, to me, been worth millions of dollars.
Yeah.
All right, because I would have been able to use the content. But yeah, I know that was some high level trolling. And so I'm like, wow, very impressive, well thought out.
Very thought out. And I see some people miss the message.
There were several.
I went to, I call it Black Twitter, but these little social media networks and people, it was all right, it was mediocre. We're not talking about the actual performance in this level, the message of the performance. Did you hear the message in the performance is what I was curious of my people. And this is what frustrates me so much about my people. We tend to look on the outer surface and not really in the message of words, because words are important. Yeah. And the nuggets and the words that Kendrick was dropping and the formation that they were doing, and it was symbolic. It was a lot of symbolic things behind it. When Uncle Sam talked about, not too much ghetto,
not too much ghetto, not too loud, keep it down.
The first thing they talk
about, tone police us.
Yeah, when they hear us talk, oh, you talk loud. Oh, you're aggressive. You know, I remember being told how I was aggressive at a corporate job because I had questions about my evaluation. So I was told, oh, you're aggressive. I feel attacked. It was the Karen syndrome, you know, and all I had was questions.
Yeah. So it had some elements of DEI in it, right? And that to me was what jumped out. And yeah, you're right. All of the stereotypes that tend to, you know, be portrayed, that was it was basically, you know, turned on its head and, you know, used to, you know, troll, which is to me part of what I say. It's out of the box thinking, very, very clever at the end of the day. And I think that's the message we need in Black History Month. I know you want the year,
no
but
doubt.
hey,
365
no
yeah, I know you want the year, but we can take what we got.
No, well, you know, they don't want to give us a month, so that's fine. We'll take a year because I think we need to celebrate us all the time.
Just take it. I mean,
we didn't ask for a Black History Month anyway?
Why we gotta
wanted
have
to just have equality and be left alone, and that's never been the case. We've always had to fight just for everything we have, and to be left alone is too much to ask. So we don't need a month. We're gonna celebrate 365 because we are excellence. They copy everything we do.
Yes,
everything.
No lies detected.
Not a single one.
You know it. Zeus, they even trying to perp you out on the these TikTok streets over there creating a Zeus page, a fake Zeus page. I had to hit you up like, Zeus, this ain't you. I already know.
No. And then they even went so far as to make an email address very close to his email.
That's crazy.
That's
crazy work. It is. It's
you know,
insane.
You really got to be going through things in order for you to feel like you're okay. You want to be this man so bad. And we can guess who it is. I mean,
no, DJ. Let's just tell the truth and shame the devil.
Okay,
it was the Russian.
Ahead.
It was the Russian Bears.
Oh, the Bears. Yeah.
The Bears.
It was the Russian Bears.
That crew over there, they gonna go down in some real fire when them flames burn, baby.
And you know, so I'm just gonna say this for everyone in the room. It's okay that they have jungle fever. It's okay. now, it's okay. You know, I ain't mad at them. But you know, at least they could have chosen a more handsome person like yourself instead of.
Here we go.
You know what I'm saying?
These are brothers, you guys. You are.
He's right though. He's right though. It's something in there. There's something got them going. Something gets them worked up about what I'm doing.
Something about you, Zeus.
It's jealousy.
They can't stop coming back though, Zeus. They cannot stop.
I said it on his live a couple days ago. They're jealous because they see that he consistently gets anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000, sometimes 3,000 people into his live, right?
And so
he does it on a consistent basis whenever he logs on to go live. No, it doesn't matter what time of day it is. And so they're upset and they're jealous that, number one, that this is a black man. And it's a black man that has a diverse, a DEI live.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because he is absolutely the definition of DEI. Because if you notice the people that he brings up, it's not necessarily people that I would bring up.
Yeah.
But see, it's his platform. And he says he wants to hear from people. It doesn't matter who you are. So he's bringing in a diverse panel.
Yeah.
He's equitable. And he's inclusive. Now, why those three words have become such trigger words, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But he is a DEI host.
He is.
And he wears it well, my friend. He wears it well.
Shanika, aka Mrs. Jack, she put up a good post today about DEI. She said next time you have to encounter with a person and they want to throw out the words DEI, because I can pretty much guarantee they don't know what the hell they talking
They
about.
don't.
We should say, so you don't want any, okay, DEI, diversity. So you don't want any equity and inclusion. Just say the words out. Just instead of giving them the acronyms and giving them the easy way out, because it's easy for them to say the actual words back to them, spit it back to them, and see where we go. Because it's gonna trip them up. Because
because they don't even know what DEI means.
Yeah,
in their minds, and it rings true. They definitely didn't earn it, but for us, and then you say the words to them, it's going to stump them every single time.
It's going to shake them up. I can guarantee
and I love it. I love it.
One of the things I like to do is say, oh, so you are racist, right? Oh, no, I'm not racist. Then so you're anti-racist, which, it's a follow-up on DEI, right? Yeah. So I'm like, so which one is it, right? Is you racist or is you anti-racist?
Which one?
If you're anti-racist, then you kind of got to be on the DEI side, right?
Right.
You got to pick.
Yeah. Like that guy today, did you hear when he said, when I played the clip when Trump said you're either stupid or you hate the country?
Yeah. He said, wait a minute, what was that?
What was it?
How you know what was he talking about?
Yeah, you got to get them stuck like that, right?
They always come with an excuse on why, but we are at the point in our lives where those excuses no longer matter. It's no longer relevant anymore. You get what you get. You pick this is what you wanted. This is what you screamed in our comments for years for. This is what you argued with us about, even though we told you it was going to happen. So this is what you wanted. So enjoy it. Enjoy those food lines. Enjoy trying to figure out how you're going to pay your bills. Enjoy it. And you get what you get, and you don't have a fit. You are listening to Our Plugs, the Community Connection. We are here with my sister, my co-host, Miss Morningstar. We've got two great political commentators. We've got Nutty Professor and our good brother, Zeus. We are about 5 minutes from ending the show, about 6 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and bring everyone back up. First, before I do that, I want to say thank you. Nutty, Zeus, I know you guys are busy. I know you guys can be anywhere else, but you took the time to come on our show, and we truly appreciate you. And as we navigate through these next 4 years, we are going to have to, lean on you and say, hey, can you guys come up and talk to us, because this is going on and we need clarity, because I know politics, but you guys know it. What's going on. So I love that you guys are willing to assist and always able. And that's just the character that you guys are. So I appreciate you both for taking the time. And I pray that you come back. I know, Zeus, this is your second time back. Nutty, this is your first, but the door is open. The door is open.
So before you go any further, I do have to step out. I have to go to a board meeting.
Absolutely.
But thank you all so much. I'm actually late for my board meeting because I wanted to be part of the show.
Thank you.
Natty, thank you.
So I appreciate y'all, and we'll see y'all tomorrow morning in the kingdom.
Absolutely.
Right. You know it. Kingdom. And we got to have you back when you come back. Have a good night, Nutty.
Have a good night. We're going to start with Bunny. Any last words before we wrap the show?
Gail? Wow, that was so good. Yep, I'm here. That was so good. Listening to everybody. I enjoyed it myself. Just basically, my goal every Monday is to give you guys that health check so that you can know how to better take care of yourself. And like I said, now is the time, whenever, that we have to look within ourselves to really, get ourselves healthy and where we need to be. And basically just reiterating to, try to de-stress yourself, not have so much stress going on, because that does affect your stomach or your microbiome. And you want to make sure and keep that at bay. And, have a good, healthy diet. Talk to people. Be around good people. That makes you feel good. That makes you feel happy. And so this way you don't want to disrupt your stomach, because remember, there's that huge connection between your mood and your stomach. So if you can get your stomach underway, then you can get your mood underway. So, and you can always take a look at my website at www.nutritionudesign.com. I'm also on rplus.com. So you want to take a look there. You can always contact me to get more information if you'd like to take any of the testings. Other than that, that's basically until next weekend.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much, Bunny.
honey.
Thank you so much, honey. And we'll see you again next Monday.
Thank
Go
you,
ahead and
guys.
stick around. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, Reggie. Any last words?
I'm just so grateful to be a part of this community. Again, I just can't thank you guys enough. And, you know, that's what I'd like to lead and leave with is let's just continue to build community. You know, they had this commercial on the Super Bowl. I think Brad Pitt was kind of narrating it. And he was talking about, you know, one of the most powerful thing in sports is the huddle. So let's huddle. Let's group together. Even if we're not building with other communities, let's huddle within our own community. Let's build our own, you know, our own strength internally. Let's support each other. You know, the storm is here, you know, so let's hunker down, let's huddle, let's hold each other down, support each other. You know, you can reach me at the Equal Universe .com via the website or theequaluniverse@gmail. You know, if I can be of service, support, or you know, provide anything from my vantage point that can pour into you. And so again, I'm just so grateful for what you guys are doing. Let's just keep doing it. You know, I
Thank
think
you
it's
so
great.
much, Reggie.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Thank you
Reggie.
so much. And we will see you again next Monday.
Yes,
We
next Monday.
appreciate
Actually,
you.
not next Monday, but the following.
Oh,
Monday.
yeah, that's
Because
right.
I'm traveling. I'm traveling. Actually, I'm
Well,
leaving
safe
tonight.
travels to you.
No, thank you.
And have fun. Have fun while you're out. Have fun. I don't want to even see you on TikTok. Go vacation.
No, you won't. Trust me. I'll be out of the country. So you won't see me on TikTok.
Good. Zeus,
Right,
any last words?
Once again, you know, I just want to say thank you for having another awesome show. So yeah, it's the same thing, right? But keep up the great work. You know, no matter how challenging it is, I think the best thing you could do is just keep doing what you're doing and telling the truth.
Thank you so much, Zeus.
All
We're
right.
trying.
Thank you, Zeus.
Can you guys tell? I've been looking on TikTok for Zeus and his, but I can't find it. What is his handle on TikTok? Because I'd like to follow him.
It is Zeus.
Oh yeah, it's or at 3, and that's the number 3 REE crossing radio.
Okay, at 3 REE crossing. Okay, bet.
Crossing radio. Yeah, 3 crossing radio.
Okay, bet. Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. No problem.
Yeah, you got to listen to his show, Reggie. You will not.
Reggie, you will be hooked.
I'm trying to get there now.
Every morning.
I'm trying to get over there now.
And then if you miss the show, you can go and go through
at the same time.
You can go through all of his postings, and that's how I get caught up because you know I'm busy, but I try and get in there as much as I possibly can. Any last words, sis?
You know what? I really enjoyed this show today, guys. Thank you so much. Each and every one of you brought some awesome value today as far as the health, as far as identity value. And, you know, it tied right in with the affirmation and just, you know, how great we are as a people. Zeus, you already know you are my brother. I appreciate you so much. Absolutely. And I'll be up watching you again tomorrow. So I try not to miss a show. You know, I'll be at my black job too, but I'll be trying to chime in when I can, you know, and be supportive, of course. Absolutely. So thank you guys.
Ali, did you want to say anything? Ali's he's our great studio guy.
Executive producer. He be helping us out.
Exactly. I will end the show with thank you. Simply put, thank you. We couldn't do any of this if it weren't for the assistance of all of you. And I appreciate the time that you take every day, answering emails, answering text messages, creating content, coming out here and being able to live in your truth and speak.
Yes.
Because there's so many people that are not on social media, but we'll hear this broadcast because you've made it possible. I thank each and every one of you for listening. You are listening to Our Plugs, the community connection brought to you by Our Plugs LLC. If you are not a current member, please join Our Plugs. It's ourplugs.com. General membership is absolutely free.
Queen
And
Flea.
hey, Queen Flea. And we would love to have you. If you have a business, please add your business. And we'd love to bring you on the show. We are looking for new talent every day. We are looking to bring on new businesses on Friday when we do our showcase. Our next show will be this upcoming Wednesday at 6:30 Central Standard Time, where we take a deep dive into mental health, and we may have a little surprise for you guys. Love you all. Thank you all for showing up.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. We're going to go out with our outro and our intro that was created by our brother
Zeus.
We
He dropped,
appreciate
but
you.
he'll hear it.
He'll hear it.
He'll hear it. All right,
Thank
guys.
you
Have a
all.
good night. Thank you, chat. Everybody in the chat. Thank you. We
Thank
love
you.
We
Everybody in
appreciate
the
you
chat.
guys.
Thank you so much. And we are